Good afternoon, students. Today we discuss about the second year most important topic about the P block elements. We already studied about the some of the groups in P block, that is boron family and carbon family in first year. Now in this session we discuss about the nitrogen family. Nitrogen family means that is the 15th group or 50th group elements. These group elements are called as nicogens. So 15th group elements are also called as which one? Nicogens. Now what are the elements present in that group? Mainly nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, stibbium and bismuth. That is the group elements of 50. Nitrogen atomic number 7, phosphorus atomic number 15, arsenic 33, stibbium 51, bismuth 83. So once you observe all these group elements, general electronic configuration is NS2 NP3. That is the general electronic configuration of 50 group elements. That means we have already learned about that one. The number of valence electron represents its group number. So how many valence electrons are there? 3 plus 2 means 5 valency electrons. How many valency electrons are there? 5 valency electrons in the outermost orbit. And this valency depends upon the group number. So generally the valency of these elements are valency of these elements are 8 minus its group number. Nothing but which one? 3. So the valency of 50 group elements are which one? 3. So that's why the valency can be calculated as which one? It consisting of octet means 8 electrons, and we subtract the group number because it is a 50 group element. Then we got the which one? Difference is 3. So that's why the valency of the element is which one? 3. So the 15th group elements general electronic configuration is GEC. General electronic configuration is which one? NS2 NP3, and the valency electrons are 5, and valency of these elements generally shows which one? 3. Don't say any sign either positive or negative. If you mention like that, it is considered as a which one? Oxidation state. Valency is there is no any sign either positive or negative. So valency of these group elements only 3. Now out of these elements, nitrogen and phosphorus are non-metals. Arsenic and stibbium is metalloids, and bismuth is metal. So once we observe, while you are moving from top to bottom, the metallic character is gradually increases. So that's why the first 2 elements are in non-metals, and the next 2 elements are metalloids, and this one is a metal character. That means electropositive character is increases, whereas electronegative character is decreases. Okay. Now in these groups, that means particularly in this group, how the periodic properties like as atomic radii, electronegativity, ionization potentials and oxidation states. How these periodic properties are changed, are varies, are grading in particular this group, that will be discussed. So in case of atomic grading, we have already learned about the different kinds of atomic radius, ionic radius, covalent radius, as well as van der Waals radius, like that. So how this atomic radius varies in the particular group. So here atomic and covalent radius. So both the atomic as well as covalent radius are increases while you are moving from top to bottom in this particular group. That means from nitrogen to bismuth, the atomic radius is increases. The atomic radius is increases. So either ionic or covalent, but the radius increasing in the strontium to bismuth is not much comparable, whereas in the case of the covalent radius from nitrogen to phosphorus is as much as comparable difference is there. Clear? So there is no much comparison between each one, arsenic, strontium and bismuth, whereas the comparison between the nitrogen and phosphorus, the atomic radius, the covalent radius is more, as much as comparable. But here in the case of these three elements, the comparability is very much less. So ultimately, while the atomic size is increases from top to bottom, from nitrogen to bismuth, because generally in the case of a group, what happens, the atomic radius is increases, so automatically the atomic size increases. So that's why the ionic and covalent radiuses are increases from nitrogen to bismuth. Now, what about the second one? Electronegativity. Electronegativity. Electronegativity means it is a capability to tendency attract to the bond pair of electron itself is known as electronegativity. So while the atomic size increases, the electronegativity character is decreases. So that's why from nitrogen to bismuth, the electronegativity values are decreases due to the atomic size increases. So that is the change in the which one? Electronegativity of a property in the particular group nitrogen to bismuth. Now the third one, ionization potential. So we well known about the ionization potential. What is the definition of ionization potential? The minimum amount of energy required to remove the electron from the outermost orbital of an atom is known as the which one? Ionization energy in gaseous state. So that's why what happened here, the atomic size as we move from nitrogen to bismuth is gradually increases. Am I right? So that's why whenever the atomic size increases, nuclear force of attraction is decreases. So automatically the ionization potential values are also decreases. Ionization potential also decreases from which one? Nitrogen to bismuth. Clear? So ionization potential also be decreases. Now what about the oxidation states? These group elements are generally shows -3, +3, +5 oxidation states. Generally these group elements are shows which one? -3, +3, +5. So while you are moving from nitrogen to bismuth, it shows -3 to which one? +5. So more stable is +3 and +5 stable compounds are unstable and those -3. So once observe here, nitrogen exhibit +1, +2, +3, +4, +5 oxidation states. Nitrogen can also exhibit up to +1 to +5 in its oxidation states. Here, for our visibility clarity, I am writing big letters: +1, +2, +3, +4, +5. So in generally, the maximum oxidation state is which one? +5. So in case of the remaining elements also forms which one? +3 and -3. So in these, the +3 oxidation state compounds have more stable than the which one? +1 oxidation state compounds. So especially in the case of these oxidation states, due to that only, while observe here, once nitrogen is a absence of d orbital, and the remaining present division p orbital. So that's why there is no extension of electron into the other orbital. So the nitrogen valency only up to 4. That means the nitrogen valence is restricted to maximum capacity, which one? Covalence is 4. Whereas the remaining elements having which one? D orbitals in this phosphorus, arsenic, strontium and bismuth. So that's why those covalency will be extended more than 4. But the nitrogen covalency is restricted to up to how much? 4 only. But the oxidation state will be +5 in their nitrogen oxides. Later we discuss about that. Okay. And the remaining element shows the which one? -3, +5 and +3. So while you are moving from nitrogen to bismuth, what happened? Non-metal to metallic. So metallic character increases means what happened here? The positive oxidation state gradually increases. So that's why these elements shows up to +3, +5 oxidation states. But here the +3 oxidation state compounds are more stable than the which one? +5 oxidation states. Okay. So that is about the periodic properties where changes in nitrogen to bismuth. Once I recollect, once listen carefully. Ionic radius or covalent radius, whatever it may be, while you are moving from top to bottom, the atomic size increases means then what happened? The ionic and covalent radius also increases. As well as electronegativity values. So electronegativity values means while you are moving from top to bottom, non-metallic character reduces and metallic character increases means why should we call as a metal? Means it is more electropositive. So that's why automatically the electronegativity values decreases. Now ionization potential. Ionization potential means it is an amount of energy to remove the electron. So that's why the lose the electron is present in which one? Bismuth, because of increasing in the atomic size. So that's why the ionization potential values also decreases from nitrogen to bismuth. And oxidation states, these oxidation states are which one? -3, +5. Anomalous property of nitrogen. Anomalous means different from the rest of the other elements. So what are the difference of the nitrogen other than elements? First one is lack of d orbital. Lack of d orbital. So due to the lack of d orbital, its covalency not extended. So it's restricted to covalency of nitrogen is maximum 4, because absence of d orbital, the electrons are not shifted to the higher energy levels. So that's why what happened, the covalence is maximum for 4. But in the case of the rest of the elements or the other elements, phosphorus, arsenic, strontium or bismuth, what happened? Presence of d orbitals, they can form easily or they can extend their valency up to 5. So that is the one of the abnormal behavior. Second thing is, due to the lack of d orbital, what happened? The nitrogen only can form p pi multiple bonds, but not d pi, because there is no d orbital. So that's why there is no chance to form a pi orbital, pi overlapping with a d pi. But whereas in the case of remaining, that will be happens. So only the p pi multiple bonds only present. in which one? Nitrogen. That means the nitrogen having a multiple bond, that is a triple bond. That means one sigma bond and two pi bonds. These two pi bonds are formed due to the pp overlapping, pp side wave overlapping, and due to this triple bond, this bond enthalpy also maximum, that is 946.4 kilojoule per mole. So that's why if the nitrogen wants to participate in chemical reaction, we require more amount of energy to dissociate this triple bond. So that's why nitrogen possesses lesser reactivity than rest of elements in that group. Clear? Now, third one. Due to the small in atomic size, it possesses more electronegativity than other elements. In that group. Small atomic size, it possesses which one? More electronegativity. So that's why the other elements than the which one? In that group. That means the nitrogen have more electronegativity, and not only the remaining element, not only nitrogen, remaining elements also it have half-filled orbitals. This property not only for nitrogen but also the remaining elements. So due to these abnormal properties, nitrogen some extent shows less reactivity and shows the relatively abnormal physical and chemical properties. So that's why while you are discussing the physical property of this particular group elements, in the case of nitrogen group, nitrogen only in gaseous state. The remaining all are in solid state. Which one? Phosphorus, arsenic, strontium and bismuth are in solid state. As well as except nitrogen, all are shows allotropy. Which one? Allotropy. Allotropy means we have already studied in first year in organic chemistry. Allotropy means having different physical forms with the same chemical properties. So that's why except nitrogen, the remaining elements are shows the which one? Allotropy nature. So all these properties are due to the which one? Abnormal properties of these. So that's why nitrogen can exhibit different properties than the rest of the elements in that particular group. Such one is called as anomalous property or anomalous behavior of nitrogen. Now, chemical properties. Now we discuss about the chemical properties. Chemical properties. First one, reaction towards hydrogen. Reaction toward hydrogen. So these group elements combines with hydrogen to form a EH3 kind of molecules. EH3, where E is nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, strontium, and bismuth. So that's why These group elements are readily react with hydrogen to form their respective hydrides, like as NH3, PH3, ASH3, SBH3, and so the reducing power basic. Ammonia is more basic than the which one? Bismuth hydride, and ammonia is a weak reducing agent, whereas bismuth hydride is a strong reducing agent. So the thermal stability also increases, like it showed in the property, thermally more stable of which one? Bismuth hydride than ammonia. So ammonia is a weak reducing agent, whereas bismuth is a which one? Strong reducing agent, and it is a form weak base. Weak base means when it dissolved in water produces ammonium hydroxide, which is a weak base. So that's why when hydrogen react with these group elements, which group elements? Fifth group elements, it can form which one? EH3 kind of molecules, or those are called as EH3 kind of hydrides. Hydrides. In these hydrides, bismuth hydride is thermally more stable than the which one? Ammonia. So ammonia is a weak reducing agent, and bismuth hydride is a strong reducing agent, whereas the basicity is more for which one? Ammonia. That is about the reaction towards the hydrogen. Second one, reaction with oxygen. These group elements, when these elements combines with oxygen, forms two kinds of oxides, E2O3 and E2O5. E2O3 and E2O5 kind of oxides So once observe here, when these group elements can react with oxygen, two kinds of oxides are formed here. One is E2O3 and E2O5. So, which is in more oxidation state oxide? Once observe here, this is the plus 5 oxidation state, this is the plus 3 oxidation state oxides. So, in these oxides, which oxides have more oxidation state? Those oxides are more acidic. Which one? More acidic nature. And these are less acidic nature. Because this one is a which one? Plus 5 oxidation state in these kind of oxides, and in these kind of oxides plus 3 oxidation state. So in which one have more oxidation state, that one is a more acidic nature. That means nitrogen and phosphorus oxides are generally acidic, and which one? The remaining. So while you are talking about the nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, strontium and bismuth, what happened? These two oxides are acidic, these two oxides are amphoteric, means both exhibit acidic character as well as basic character, whereas in the case of here, this is basic oxide. Clear? So that's why these two kinds of oxide which are formed by the group elements E2O3 and E2O5, in which kind of oxides have more oxidation state, that are more acidic, than the which one? Lower oxidation state oxides. So especially while you are talking the oxides of these group elements, nitrogen and phosphorus can form the oxides. Those oxides are generally in acidic nature because those are the non-metals. And whereas in the case of arsenic and stibbium, it acts as a which one? Amphoteric, because these are the metalloids. While moving from bottom, bismuth can form the oxides. Those oxides are in which nature? Basic in nature. So ultimately what happened? The SD character is gradually decreases to while you are moving from the down or grouping down, that is up to bismuth. So clear? So that is about the reaction with oxygen. Next, third one, reaction with the halogens. Reaction with halogens. So halogens means the 7 group elements X, which are equal to fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine. So why these group elements, which group elements? 50 group elements like nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, stibbium and bismuth combines with halogen, those are also forms two kinds of halides like PX3 and PX5. Sorry, not P, EX3, EX5, where E equal to which one? Fifth group elements equal to nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, stibbium and bismuth. Here X means the halogens. So while these group elements combines with halogen can form two kinds of halides like EX3 and EX5. In one is a +3 oxidation state and another one is +5 oxidation state. Except nitrogen, all the elements of this group can form which one? EX5 kind of halides, but EX3 only formed by nitrogen, means NF3, NCl3, NBr3, Na, but not can form NCl5. Why? That means nitrogen cannot form EX5 kind of halide. Why? Because there is no presence of which one? D orbital in nitrogen. So lack of d orbital, the valency should not be extended. So that's why nitrogen cannot form +5 oxidation state halides. Only forms +3 kind of +3 oxidation state halides only. But the remaining are can also form PX3 as well as EX5. Okay. So that's why nitrogen can form these kind of halides, but not can form NCl5 or NF5 like that, because of which one? Lack of d orbitals. Everyone should remember that due to the lack of d orbitals, nitrogen only forms NCl3, that means NX3, or only +3 oxidation state halides only, but not +5 state of oxidation of halides. Clear? Now and out of these halides, NF3 only more stable. Only NF3 only more stable. The remaining are not stable. Even though it forms a which an NF3, NCl3, NBr3 and Ni3. Out of these trihalides, which one? Only NF3 halide only stable. While in the case of trihalides and pentahalides of remaining other elements, pentahalides are more covalent than trihalides. One thing you remember, except nitrogen cannot form +5 oxidation state halides, but the remaining other elements can form +5 oxidation state halides. So that means it can form both tri and pentahalides. So in out of these two halides, pentahalides are more covalent in nature than which one? Trihalides. Clear? So that is about the which one? Reaction with the halogens by the group elements of fifth. Okay. Now reaction with the metals. Reaction with the metals. Generally, these group elements when react with the metals can form binary compounds. These group elements generally react with the metals to form binary compounds like calcium nitride Ca3 into phosphorus nitride Pa3 into like this. So these are the nitrides. So when metals react with these group elements, which one? 50 group elements, they can form which one? Binary compounds. Binary compounds means it is in the ratio of which one? Plus 3 plus 3 oxidation state only. So then those are the compounds of which one? Binary compounds like calcium nitride, phosphorus nitride and arsenic nitride, bismuth nitride, like this. Such compounds are called as which one? Binary compounds. So that's why reaction with the metals, that means when these elements, fifty group elements combines with the metals to form binary compounds. Now we discussed about individual elements. First one about nitrogen. About nitrogen. So nitrogen is a which kind of element? Diatomic molecule. With a boiling point is minus 196 degrees Celsius. Boiling point 196 degrees Celsius. And it have two kinds of isotopes, N14 and N15, N14 and N15, and it is consisting of a triple bond molecule, N triple bond, with more bond enthalpy, that is near about 946.4 kilojoule per mole. Clear? So nitrogen is the diatomic molecule with a boiling point which one? Minus 196, and it shows or it having two kinds of isotopes. One is N14 and N15, and having nitrogen between the nitrogen having triple bond, it have more bond enthalpy, that is near about 946.4 kilojoule per mole. That means for reactive nature, if you want to improve the reactive nature of nitrogen, then you dissociate the triple bond. So for dissociating the triple bond, we require how much amount of energy? 946.4 kilojoule per mole of energy we require. Okay. Now, preparation. So for every preparation of element, we have two types. One is laboratory preparation method and commercial preparation method. So first of all, we discuss about the commercial preparation. Commercial preparation. Commercial preparation means we require more amount of nitrogen. Am I right? That is the commercial method. So I think already well known about our atmosphere consisting of near about 78% of nitrogen only, the remaining 21% is oxygen, and the remaining 1% is the remaining other gases. So 78% of nitrogen is available in which one? Air only. So that's why the most of the nitrogen we collect from which one? Air. How? By the distillation. What kind of distillation is this called as? That one is called fractional distillation of. fractional distillation of air. That means our air chiefly consisting of which one? Nitrogen and oxygen. So while we are fractionating, then we get a which one? Nitrogen and oxygen. By fractionating, what happened? The lower boiling point of which one nitrogen is remains in here, and the oxygen will be distilled off. So that's why we finally obtain the which one? Nitrogen. So by fractional distillation method only commercially nitrogen is prepared. That is the commercial method. Now what is the laboratory method? Laboratory method. So in the case of laboratory method, we have two methods. One is decomposition of ammonium chromate. Decomposition of which one? That is NH4 twice ammonium chromate, Cr2O7. So one decomposes, gives nitrogen plus H2O plus Cr2 by thermal decomposition of ammonium chromate. While in the case of another method, that is when ammonium chloride treated with the sodium nitrate. Sodium nitrate. So these are the both are aqueous solutions. Both are the aqueous solutions, ammonium chloride and sodium nitrate. Then it forms in which one? Nitrogen gas with the liberation of H2O and Cl. So these are the two methods to prepare a which one? Nitrogen gas in laboratory. So by commercial method, it can be prepared as a which one? Fractional distillation of air, because air is liquefying. After the liquefaction of air by the Joule-Thomson effect, after that it will be distilled. By which method? Fractional distillation method. The lower boiling point of nitrogen, this one is the boiling point of which one? Nitrogen, and oxygen boiling point is near about 186, minus 186. So that's why what happened? It requires more temperature. So one other one is distilled off and the remaining will be left over. By this method only we prepare the which one? Commercially the nitrogen. The second one is laboratory method. By decomposition of which one? Ammonium chromate and reaction with the aqueous solution of ammonium chloride with sodium nitrate, we get the which one? Nitrogen gas. If you want, we required pure nitrogen. For pure nitrogen prepared by thermal decomposition of which one? Pure nitrogen can be produced by thermal decomposition of azides. That means either barium azide or sodium azide. When barium azide is strongly heated, it gives a which one? Nitrogen gas. And whereas in case of sodium azide, on strong heating gives. So in laboratory we get a pure nitrogen gas by thermal decomposition of azides. So either barium azide, that means barium nitride, or sodium azide thermally heated gives which one? Barium. Yes. Okay. So finally we get which one? Pure nitrogen. So once you recollect preparation of nitrogen, so commercially prepared by which one? Fractional distillation of air. In laboratory we have two methods. One is by thermal decomposition of ammonium chromate or by the reaction of aqueous ammonium chloride solution into sodium nitrate. Whereas if you require a pure nitrogen gas by thermal decomposition of azides, we get the which one? Pure nitrogen gas. Now, what about the physical properties of this gas? What about the physical properties of this gas? First one, colorless gas and odorless and non-toxic gas. Colorless gas, because our atmosphere consisting of more nitrogen, we cannot appear the one. As well as odorless, it doesn't have a specific character smell. As well as it is a non-toxic, because we livelihood here. So that's why the nitrogen which is prepared either commercially or laboratorily, that is the which one? Colorless and odorless and non-toxic. And second one, it is non-combustible. Non-combustible gas means it doesn't combustible itself. So that's why it is also used in fire extinguishers. It doesn't support the fire. It doesn't catch us any fire. So that's why in fire extinguishers nitrogen also be used. Okay, and it is very much less soluble in water. It is very less soluble in water. Almost it is negligible. It is not soluble under the ordinary conditions. So that's why it is very less soluble in water. Now we discuss about the chemical properties. First one, we already discussed nitrogen is a diatomic molecule, means it consisting of a multiple bond, that is a triple bond. Due to the presence of a triple bond, we require more bond enthalpy, bond dissociation enthalpy near about 946.4 kilojoule per mole. So that's why it is chemically inactive at a room temperature. But while you are increasing the temperature, then what happened? Dissociate. So dissociates, which one? Because of more dissociation energy required. So that's why it is chemically inactive. So while the temperature is increases, then what happen? It will be reacts. So that's why at high temperature, nitrogen react with the metals like lithium, forms lithium nitride. Lithium nitride. And second one, when it reacts with magnesium to form magnesium nitride, Mg3N2. Okay, this one is magnesium nitride. This one is lithium nitride. Lithium. So when lithium and magnesium under high temperatures react with nitrogen to form their respective nitrides, as well as it also combines with hydrogen it also combines with hydrogen. So when nitrogen reacts with hydrogen, it forms ammonia. Under high pressure, that is near about 200 atmospheres and near about 773 Kelvin temperature, and presence of a catalyst iron molybdenum. So nitrogen combines with which one? Hydrogen to form which one? Ammonia under the specific conditions of high pressure and temperature at 773 Kelvin and a catalyst iron and molybdenum, which is termed as in Haber process. Haber's process. Later in this lesson only, in this topic only, we discuss about the preparation of ammonia by Haber process. Okay, so that's why here the nitrogen also combines with hydrogen to give ammonia, and reaction with oxygen. Nitrogen combines with oxygen under high temperature, forms nitric oxide. Nitric oxide, 2Na. So that's why nitrogen combines with hydrogen, as well as nitrogen combines with oxygen, and also nitrogen combines with the metals to form their respective metal nitrides. Okay, so those are the chemical properties of which one? Nitrogen. Now, what are the uses? The first usage is to prepare ammonia in Haber's process. In Haber's process, as well as it is also used as a refrigerant. It is also used as a refrigerant to preserve biological materials and food. Biological material, food, and in cryosurgery. Cryosurgery. So cryosurgery means the surgeries which are happens at a low temperature. Those surgeries are called as which one? Cryosurgery. And previously we discussed about the which one? It is a non-combustible gas, so that's why it is used in fire extinguisher. And nitrogen can also be used in the preparation of exploits, like as NCl3, which is triglyceride and a trinitrotoluene. In that exploding materials, the nitrogen is used as a chief constituent, and this nitrogen can also be used in preparation of different kinds of fertilizers. Different kind of fertilizers. Different kind of fertilizers also be given. Nitrogen is used. So that is the preparation and chemical properties as well as the physical properties of which one? Nitrogen, as well as also use. Now in the remaining topic we discuss about the two more topics of which one? Nitrogen topics. What is ammonia and the preparation of nitric acid and nitrogen oxides. Okay, we will be discussing the next video.